He said on election night, I'm going to stop wars. I'm not going to start a war. He started this war for no good reason because Lindsey Graham and Benjamin Netanyahu and others persuaded him to do this ridiculous war. And now we're in this stupid war where oil prices are up. He also said, by the way, Hogan, you remember, he said, I'm going to end inflation on day one. We're going to bring prices down.
Hasan argues that Trump's campaign promise of no more wars directly conflicts with America's current military involvement in Iran. Supporters see strength, critics see a broken promise. The divide couldn't be clearer.
A month ago, he said the Iranian regime were good people, nice people, smart people, rational people. Over the weekend, he said they're evil, sick people. This is the most erratic man who has ever held any kind of power in this country. And as for going to war, Hogan says stupid war. Piers, you rightly say this is a stupid war. And by the way, he didn't just say stupid war. He said no more wars in multiple rallies. Hogan was the campaign press secretary in 2024. He was there when Donald Trump said, I don't have wars, he said. He said on election night, I'm going to stop wars. I'm not going to start a war. He started this war for no good reason because Lindsey Graham and Benjamin Netanyahu and others persuaded him to do this ridiculous war. And now we're in this stupid war where oil prices are up. He also said, by the way, Hogan, you remember, he said, I'm going to end inflation on day one. We're going to bring prices down. Instead, we've got gas prices going up and up and up because the Iranians know if they hold out for the midterms, it's going to hurt Trump and the Republicans. They have their own incentive for keeping this going. And Piers, I don't know if I said it.
Hasan made it clear he wasn't celebrating Graham's death, but he also refused to separate the senator's legacy from the wars he supported. It's a reminder that even after a political figure dies, debates over their record continue.
With Ayatollah Khamenei, a more radical hardline version, who has much more of an incentive to get
Mehdi, I agree with you 100%. So let's forget that. I just want to ask you very finally, Mehdi, are you sad that Senator Lindsey Graham has died?
No, I'm not sad. I'm not celebrating it either, as you suggested in your introduction. I think it's a bit of a straw man to say everyone's celebrating his death. I think as journalists, Piers, you and I, we hold power accountable. We speak truth to power. I'm not of the school that says when a politician dies, a public figure dies, we treat them like a private figure and just shut up. I don't think journalism should turn into hagiography. At Zeteo, for example, we published a list of what Graham said and did. We just let the facts speak for themselves. He was a man who said awful things, genocidal things, racist things, and we put that on the record for people to see. That doesn't mean he didn't also do, I'm sure, good things in Congress as well, but overwhelmingly he argued for wars, including this Iran war that outlives him, that killed 100 schoolgirls on day one of the war. He argued for the Iraq war that you and I opposed, that killed over 1 million people. He never met a Middle East country he didn't want to invade, and I think that's how we should remember him. We should remember the full record. The problem is when powerful people die, people in our media, especially mainstream corporate media, want to just do hagiography and say, what a wonderful person they were. Weren't they lovely? And I'm sure many of those powerful people were lovely and they have families who love them. But as journalists, our job is to say, here's what they did. Here's the truth about their life and record. Here's an accurate obituary. And with Lindsey Graham, the man has a ton of blood on his hands and we shouldn't just forget that.
Khanna isn't simply criticizing Israeli policy, he's accusing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of denying documented events witnessed by journalists and photographers. That's an extraordinary accusation from a sitting U.S. congressman, and it immediately raises questions about America's relationship with Israel.
Security forces, it was written up in detail in Reuters and the New York Times, and the Prime Minister is denying what happened, his ambassador is denying what happened. I guess people who can lie about a genocide feel licensed to lie even about the illegal detention and threatening of American citizens. But what is outrageous is if this happened anywhere else in the world, it would be a massive international incident, and it would require the government to immediately arrest the people who did this and to investigate the soldiers who did this.
Khanna argues Musk's budget cuts had life and death consequences overseas, while Musk fired back by threatening legal action. It's another example of how America's biggest political debates increasingly involve Silicon Valley's most powerful figures.
He hasn't. I was a bit surprised you become a trillionaire, the richest person in the world, and you're obsessing about a statement I made. And it obviously got under his skin because the cuts that he did to Doge had real-world consequences. And I cited 2 academic studies, the Lancet study and Adil Gawande's study, saying that when he cut food and medicine from some of the poorest people, that potentially could have led to deaths. And it's surprising to me that he threatened a lawsuit because, he claims he's all for free speech. But I'm happy to debate him or the ideas on the.
Khanna argues that Trump's handling of Iran reflects a deeper problem, not just policy disagreements, but a failure to understand the historical events that shape today's Middle East. It's one of the harshest critiques made during the interview.
With their backing, Trump is now saying he wants 20% of all value of all cargo shipped to provide security for ships going through. Does any of this make sense to you?
The greatest tragedy with Donald Trump is he didn't listen to Winston Churchill's basic advice that to be a statesperson, you had to read history. And had Donald Trump read any history about what happened with Mossadegh and the overthrow of Mossadegh in 1953, because Mossadegh wanted to nationalize Iranian oil, and how the cardinal sin of the overthrow of Mossadegh has destabilized the region, he would never make a statement that the United States somehow wants to take over the Strait of Hormuz and engage in a kind of gunboat diplomacy. He would instead be working with the international community to make sure that we had the denuclearization of Iran, some kind of agreement, and not provoking them by threatening to conquer the Strait of Hormuz or take over the.
Today's discussion touched nearly every major political issue dominating headlines, from Israel and Gaza to Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Iran, and the legacy of Senator Lindsey Graham. Whether you agree or disagree with the guests, these moments are shaping the political conversation both in America and around the world. Let us know in the comments which moment stood out to you the most and why.